Hey now, what's up, balanceFIT family? A little announcement before the episode. As you know, if you've been here with us for a little bit, we record the episode in this studio, my office, with 3 big dogs, a huge German Shepherd and 2 Border Collies, and that can create a little bit of chaos from time to time. And as happened this past recording, when all the wires got ripped out of the soundboard and the cameras got knocked over. So we have a little bit of goofiness with audio and cameras falling over and whatnot. But there's 2 things that I can't stand: bad audio and bad lighting. I was a professional photographer for 17 years, and bad lighting is anathema to me, and I hate bad audio because I have some audio issues in my brain. And I always endeavor to present you with not only a clean podcast of audio and video, but also just authenticity. So once again, as is in the past, there's some goofiness and silliness and chaos in this episode, in which my wife joins us as well. So we had 3 in the studio with us today, or 3 total people. But there's some silliness and some chaos, and I'm not editing it out because I feel like everything is spit and polish. And although I know this is a bit of a dichotomy, although I try my very best to give you the best audio and best video, I also want to present you with the real thing. So I apologize for the little bit of the wonkiness, kind of echoey audio, although Meredith's audio sounds spectacular, and it's not all the way through. Once the 3rd microphone is out, with about 20 minutes left in the episode, the audio is perfect. But anyway, I feel like this was a really, really good, spectacular episode with a lot of good information in it. So I wanted to make sure that you got all of it. Once again, apologize for the little bit of goofy audio and video, but other than that, great episode, and I hope you enjoy. See y'all. Button. Gains?
Gains? we somehow can keep working gains into things.
Okay.
Because if you're eating a lot of protein, you need gains. Gains?
Alrighty.
Making those gains.
All right.
Yeah.
What is up with counting calories, body shapes, and influencer culture? Let's discuss. balanceFIT Radio is on.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lift off and the clock has started.
I won't break your chair.
Hey now! Good day to each and every one of you bright, shining souls, wherever you may be, and welcome to balanceFIT Radio. We are talking about strength, meaning, and the human experience. I'm your host, Scott Schroeder, and I'm a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and I got specialties y'all don't care about, blah, blah, blah. balanceFIT Radio is where fitness meets psychology and philosophy in everyday life. Because true wellness is about more than just the body, is it not? It is about living in balance through strength, resilience, and capability. Let's get after it, shall we? Joining me today, as per usual recently, the chili pepper to my salt, Lacey. Don't call me Fletcher, Pletcher with a P.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands, thank you. That was a hard intro. Good job. And to her right, a very special guest who I am so happy to have in with me today. The second biggest reason I'm alive behind my mother, my wife of 27 years, the beautiful and gloriously inimitable Meredith Schroeder.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. I have a question for you all. Why don't eggs lift weights?
Something about being scrambled. No idea, Dad.
Because they might crack under pressure.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much. I'll be here all week.
What does a pig say when it's hot?
I don't know.
I'm bacon.
I'm bacon. Here you go. Here's one of these.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right, before we get into it, if your current fitness plan looks something like watch a bunch of YouTube videos, try random workouts, get confused, and then go eat a sandwich or a box of Oreos, I might be able to help. The balanceFIT Blueprint is a 3-session virtual coaching program where we build a training plan designed specifically for you, your goals, your schedule, yes, you, and your real life. We start with an assessment. I build your custom program. We walk through it together, and then we will check in and adjust once you've had time to implement it. It is not a generic workout. It is coaching with intention. If you want a clear plan and a smarter way to train, check out the balanceFIT blueprint at balanceFITSC.com. Your life, your potential. All right.
That's right. We both have a blueprint, don't we?
We do.
Okay.
In the warm-up section today, do we have any comments, questions,
I was gonna
corrections,
say,
anything like
we're
that?
we're the blueprint squad. You got the memo about wearing blue on this side of the table, too. So, ready.
I might lose control of this today, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold
Oh,
on.
we did.
Perfectly fine.
Buckle up.
By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you notice some unusual marks on my face, did you see that?
I
you
did.
notice that? I went to the dermatologist today, and she did a little cryo freezing of some pre-cancer off of my head and face. And this is a wellness and fitness show, so listen up, children. Wear hats, wear sunscreen, take care of your skin. You don't want to look like, and this is why one of the reasons I keep telling you not to move to Florida. 'Cause I don't want you to look like one of these old ladies who's like 39 and looks 72.
Don't
looks like a
have
baseball
to
mitt.
worry about that.
Are you saying we shouldn't put baby oil on
Yeah.
a
It's
swing?
funny that you say that because I want, like I said, wear hats, wear sunscreen.
Skunk
do
screen.
do better than us, and also wear skunk screen.
More on that
You
later.
might need it.
Yes, do better than us because in the 70s and 80s, I'm not even sure we had sunscreen yet. Maybe in the late 80s.
We did.
We
We just
had-
preferred the Hawaiian
we had
Tropic tanning
suntan
oil.
lotion, suntan oil.
Yeah.
But my Nana, God bless her, the salt of the earth, loved me more than she loved anything else in the world. When I remember asking her one time, I was like 12. What am I doing tanning? I have no idea. But like, I was like, Nana, I want to get a tan. I want to get some sun. And do you have any suntan lotion or whatever? I said, she gave me baby oil. It's like, here you go. Bake yourself to a nice crisp because we just didn't know anything. So take care of your skin. Anyway.
My mom, who is, I think we've covered this, an icon to myself and
Dana.
my friends.
Dana
Dana.
Fletcher.
Oh, Dana. Shout
a
out
legend.
Dana. She is, well, no, she got upgraded. So
She's a sage.
I've always said she's a legend. And my friend recently said, no, Dana's an icon. That's why she looks amazing at 75 years old, especially being from Texas. She stayed out of the sun. And she always helped me stay out of the sun. And we wear big old dumb hats when we're in the sun. And I now have just taken it on and enjoy the big old dumb hats. And
I love the hats.
I chase all my, like when I used to horse show all the time, chase all my friends around with sunscreen. I was the horse show mom that always had 3 things of sunscreen. And at the, after 2 hours, it's like, well, my hands are dirty and my face is dirty. I'm like, I don't care, rub it all in. It's, I mean, we're not finding a working sink here,
Yep.
so just go for it. But
She's a big fan of the hats.
I believe in it. I
Love the
feel like
hats.
that's why I don't scream 44 years old.
Yeah.
'Cause
My mother will be 80 this year, and she always wears big old hats, sun sleeves, all the things, and she looks good. Fortunately or unfortunately, I started we had this conversation the other day at lunch with our nieces. When did you start losing your hair? I was like, well, I started noticing it at like 25. And what do guys do when they start losing, the receding hairline starts coming? You put on a hat, wear a ball cap. So fortunately, at least, I've been sporting ball caps for most of my life, but that doesn't help you with your ears and your cheekbones right here. And if you'll notice, that's where one of the places that she hit. I had 2 places right here that she got with the cryo.
The place I've had the most sun damage or notice is here, and it's from the car window, right? And
Oh,
they
yeah.
say there was a study out there that truckers, the most cancerous, precancerous stuff is on their face because they're on the road all the time.
you
If they
seen-
don't have the wind,
Yeah, have
whatever.
you seen the pictures? They've done
Their
pictures.
hands, their left
They look
hand
like
versus their right
30
hand.
years older
Yeah,
over here
because
versus
you
over
got your-
here. My
yeah.
mother once busted me for skipping school. I had a Honda Accord, a 1980 Honda Accord with a sunroof. And she once busted me, knew that I skipped school because I came home, I was wearing a tank top, and my right shoulder was completely sunburned.
That's funny.
My left
Yeah.
shoulder wasn't from the sunroof.
And if anybody wants any sunscreen recommendations, oh, girl, I got you, girl. Of any kind of girl. I have been on the search for the perfect sunscreens, all the sunscreens I like. I've tested so many of them, and they don't put it in there anymore, but I was allergic to PABA.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I had to like really go after it. And now I'm using a bunch of different products that I really like. Goes on smooth, not awful. Like the zinc oxide is the best. And if you don't know the difference between the kinds of sunscreens you can get, like look into it. Because one is like chemical based and the other is zinc oxide. Some zinc oxide is very, very difficult to like get off, and it's like
Yeah.
white and cakey. However, if you're somewhere, that's why the surfers wear the colored stuff, because they want to know when it's off, especially, you know, when you're in the Hawaiian or Costa Rican sun or whatever. Anyway, you touched a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Sunscreen. Don't enjoy your sunscreen responsibly. Slather that shit on as much as you can.
Over and over.
Over and over. As much sunscreen as you want, people.
You said PABA.
Right? Wasn't it PABA that was in
PABA?
sunscreen? Was it PABA?
The only reason I bring that up is because it leads me actually into the next thing.
Hey,
You know how I love language. I want you, both of you, take turns pronouncing the following words. I know how you will say two of these because we've been around each other once or twice. Lever.
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 What?
Yes.
Unilever?
Yes, I went to school with
Lever man.
I went to school with Trina Lever, and I think that's why I say Lever.
I think if you just threw it at me, now I'm thinking about it too much, I think I'm a lever. But honestly, I think it might be one of those things that is situational.
Yeah,
And I don't think linguistically, I think they're both right.
they are.
They're both acceptable.
No,
Yeah.
because it's not spelled Leaver.
Yeah, but it's a
Lever.
single vowel followed by a consonant. That's a long vowel. Lever. Anyway, here's the next one.
Okay, no. Brain.
So we had mixed results there. How about this one? I know where you're going with this one. I think I might know where you're going with this one. Nevada.
Oh,
We've talked about this one before. It's Nevada.
that hurts.
She was a Spanish major and taught Spanish
I remember that.
and did two
Hola.
study abroads, Costa Rica and Spain, and took kids to Central America and the Caribbean,
South America
South America,
and Central.
Ecuador. And where else?
Costa Rica.
Oh, you took kids to Costa Rica. That's right. So
Puerto Rico.
Nevada is obviously a Spanish word.
You don't have to say it like that, though.
I know.
It's
Nevada.
just Nevada.
I
But
gotta
it
do the hand
hurts me to
gesture.
say Nevada. That
That's
hurts.
weird.
I think probably where that comes from is, you know, my brother and I are huge Vegas people, and so I don't say it's always been Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada to me just sounds
Feels weird.
I
weird.
think that it's probably regional.
Yeah.
Well, this wasn't one of the words, but what about PAGAMA?
J.A.
PAGAMA.
We've talked about this one. This is pajamas.
Oh, you go pajama, but Nevada. That's interesting.
You,
It is
like on
interesting.
one of our first podcasts, you and I pointed that same thing out. Like, why do you say Nevada but pajama? I don't know. I think I said
just is.
my roommate. I said it earlier. Nobody caught it, but this thing behind my back. What is this, Meredith?
The cushion?
Well, no, but if it was on
What?
your bed,
I don't know.
you put a pillow.
Yeah.
Like I say pillow. Pellow. Pillow.
That's almost Scottish.
Like-
the Scottish mix up their
And
vowels.
the only
like
thing I
that,
can
their
figure
vowel
is
sounds.
like Pella Windows was such a bit, like they advertised all the time on like the cartoon, like right before the Andy Griffith Show would come on. Do we need to check out that noise?
Yeah, somebody's about to.
banging on the door. I
Okay.
think. The 3 Dog Podcast is a 0 Dog Podcast today because they were so obnoxious that we had to throw them out of the room.
But somebody's going to scratch the door down.
Yeah. All right. We'll figure it out in a second. All right.
Speaking of which, is that another excellent segue? Dogs.
Hold on. I have one more.
Okay.
And this one's local. CLEMSON. Say it.
It's Clemson
Thank you.
Clemson.
Yes, there is no Z in Clemson.
or a P. I
There-
like the thing
P is
my family and I do, because that's how people say it around here, is Clemson. You went to Clemson? It's Clemson.
Yeah, there is no Z.
Clemson. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Espresso.
Yeah, so
Right.
Finley, our border collie, had an issue Friday night, very late. We were up much later than usual because it was my beautiful wife's birthday on this past Sunday, and so we had a whole weekend of things, so our schedule was all off. We were up a little bit later than usual. So I let the dogs out for last call at about 11 o'clock to go pee and do all the things, and Finley was out there rage barking. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to, the neighbors and all this. So I stuck my head out the door and I did the shush clap. Shh, shh, hush, hush, hush. And he just wouldn't stop. So I walked down there to the bottom of the steps. Lucy was over here barking. They were both oriented at the corner of my gym, barking at a fern. And I'm like, there must be a cat under there.
A cat would have been.
Alas, it was
much
not a
better.
cat. It was black and white, but it was not a cat. So I saw the tail and I was like, good night. So I could not disengage Finley. Lucy was near me, so I got her. I smelled her. She was okay. I sent her inside. And the only way I could get to Finley was to run past the skunk. And I was like,
You've been training for this, Scott.
I was training for this, but I was like a terrified little child. Ah!
Yep.
So I ran past the skunk, grabbed Finley, ran back the other way, got to the bottom of the stairs, and I put my nose right on his head and almost died. And I ran up the stairs and I yelled. She was already in bed, and I yelled. I was like, hey! And usually I'm like, hey, hon?
Yeah.
No, it was, hey! And she goes, what? I'm like, Finley's been skunked. Oh, my Lord. And so now it's after 11 o'clock. We live in a place where most everything closes well before 11 o'clock, including Walmart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, Walmart was
That's
closed.
what I asked. I was shocked.
Yeah.
So
Shocked, I tell you.
Yes, me
she's
too.
on chat and Google trying to figure out how we do this, because I've never had to deal with this before. I grew up in Georgia. I've lived in South Carolina for 28 years. Lived in North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. And I don't think I've ever even seen a non-cartoon skunk that wasn't dead on the road.
That sounds
But they're everywhere here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So we had no idea what to do. So we Googled up the fixes, the baking soda, peroxide, and
Dish detergent.
Yeah,
Yep.
dish detergent, which we had 2 of the 3. So she's driving all over creation, trying to find that at nearly midnight. I'm out in the yard holding on to the stinkiest dog in the world. And I did what I found out later was wrong, which is I sprayed him with water first, which apparently makes it worse. And I put the Dawn on him. I let it sit for 5 minutes and sprayed him Dawn, sprayed him Dawn, sprayed him Dawn. She got back with the stuff. And actually, we were able to, with the Dawn and baking soda and peroxide, we were able to actually, I don't know, like 90%.
Yeah.
We were able to actually let him in the house.
Yeah, it was tolerable. I mean, really, after we bathed him with that a few times, then I didn't smell him unless I put my nose up on him.
Yeah.
And so he was able to be, but the problem was because Scott was trying to get Finley in the house away from the skunk, but we also didn't want him in the house. We shut him up in the laundry room, right? When you come in the back door, put him in there and close the door while Scott was making sure the skunk was gone. But because we didn't want him in the house. So then once he's out, that room, the laundry room, oh my Lord. It was
the
horrible.
clothes you wash them in, too.
I think it
Yeah,
was,
so
It
bad.
must have got on one of the rugs. But-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's oil-based. It just
Yes.
gets on anything
So
and everything.
after
and-
that midnight excursion, then we had to wait. We had a whole day planned for her birthday the next day, but that got put on hold while we waited for our local groomer that has a self-wash to open up. And so we bought some skunk shampoo, plus took our home remedy, and I did 3 or 4 rounds of that. And then today...
But we have to give Finley credit. He's such a good boy through all of this. Such a good boy.
He was pretty cooperative, and he's like, why are you all doing this to me? But I'm still pretty happy about things. He was not happy at that skunk, though. And then today he went to the groomer, and he's gone to the same groomer for a while now, and she's good, and she snuck us in there. And this is one of the things that, like a little side tangent that I wanted to bring up about this, because when we took him to do the self-wash, you and I touched on this briefly about getting out and talking to people and doing things and versus hibernating and how much you should do each. And as I told you, I'm the guy that will go talk to you. Mm-hmm. Cashiers, bank tellers, dog groomers, whoever. I am my dad's son, and I will talk to you about nonsense. She used to work for a marketing company that did had an account with the state of South Carolina, and they brought them reusable grocery bags that were made out of recycled billboards. And whenever I would take those into the grocery store, and they're bagging them up, I'd be like, hey, you want to hear an interesting fact about those grocery bags?
The poor cashier's like,
guy.
what?
But
Define interesting, please.
Right.
once people get past the initial shock of a human actually interacting with them and not ignoring them or just grunting at them, there's that moment of joy. But anyway, I'm the same way with our groomer. I talk to her, and the thing is, it's not transactional. I'm not talking to her so I can get something out of her.
Yeah.
She's just a person, and I like to talk. And so when we were over there washing Finley, she kept coming over there to check on him, and I was like, I need to get him in to see you for real. And she's booked usually for a week at a time, easily a week out. And she's like, he's my boy. Just bring him in. We'll get him taken care of. And that's how you build relationships. Yep. That's and once again, this is not transactional.
Yeah.
I didn't build a relationship with her to get something out of it. But when you do build relationships, real, genuine relationships, people, they help you. And that's what life is about.
And I'm good at that. I've got a lot of, a job I interviewed for a long time ago at a computer, like a software computer boutique place. They asked like what my skill is, and it's hard because I can't program a computer. I can't do any of that. We probably better go see what's going on there. See, when he was saying that earlier, there's a scene in Shrinking, which I know he doesn't like. But when somebody is talking and you just go, to get him to shut up when he was doing that, I'm going to try it. Otherwise, if I don't have a good relationship with you and I really need to get my way, you're going to get the Pletcher charm, which is what we use in the house. But also, side note about the goodie of peroxide, you have a white dog.
Yes.
I've had 2 German Shepherds that have both taken it like right between the eyes.
Which is
so,
so
you got to be really careful very careful around their eyes with that.
Yeah.
And then 2, like if you have a brown and black dog like mine, it can actually bleach your hair. So you got to be really careful with how long.
People kept telling us you can tomato juice. I'm like, first of all, I don't have tomato juice. Second of all, I have a white dog. How is tomato juice ever going to come out of his fur? He's just going to be rust colored. And
where I finally found peroxide driving all over creation at 11:30 at night. The only places open were gas stations and fast food. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up at the little gas station around the corner, and I go up to the register with 2 bottles of peroxide and another bottle of Dawn. We had some, but I got more. Yeah. And I said to the cashier, any idea why I'm buying these things at 11 o'clock at night? She's like, dead body? No, but then I said, no, my dog got skunked. Well, she had been there. She had experienced it, and she said about the tomato juice thing, but she said she tried tomato juice and her dog just wanted to lick it off.
Yeah. Well, next time you guys call me, I know you're all stocked up now, but because I had been through it, I got on the site where you order everything, and I bought a case of it, peroxide, and then I have two industrial sized things of baking soda. One of them's not even open yet. So next time you get a dog thing, just text me and be like, hey, this happened. Do you happen to have the ingredients? Because
it was midnight, Lacey.
That's when my dog got skunked.
Yeah.
Of course, that's when all dogs are going to get skunked. Both of my dogs got skunked around then. Fire smoke detectors, their batteries die at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why that's a law, but it is. So the moral of the story is, if you have a pet and you live anywhere near skunks where skunks might be, hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and Dawn actually works pretty well. So keep that on
Just
hand.
Google the proportions there.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to the Zeitgeist segment. I noticed something Sunday when we were driving, or Saturday when we were driving up to the mountains for her birthday stuff. I actually saw we were at, how gas stations at interstate exits are, across from the road. There's always multiples of them. Well, as I got out of the car, I was pumping our gas, and I looked across the street at that gas station, and I saw a guy walking in who had a body type that I've been seeing a lot the last 6, 7, 8 years with this particular age of people. Then when I went into the store, the convenience store of the gas station we were at, I saw 2 more people with a different body type that I've also been seeing a lot. And it's alarming to me as someone who wants to help and wants people to be healthy, because these are both indicators of precursors to chronic disease, all the obesity related things. But the guy that I saw across the street was probably, and this is a thing that really hits younger millennials and older Gen Z. So this is really what I notice is mostly in mid to late 20s. And that might not, that gets the tail end of millennials. But I don't see the younger Gen Z kids that are like this, which is why I keep telling you I think Gen Z is going to save the world. But anyway, the first guy I saw was probably 25, 26, 27 years old. And he was tall, but he was pear-shaped. And in particular, so he had no chest and started going outward on the way down into an actual bubble butt. And this is a thing that I've been seeing with men, a trend that's been developing, and not just carrying extra weight. Like you look at a guy, let's say you look at a guy in his 50s who's a farmer and just works with his hands, and he's a bigger dude. You're not going to notice anything really off about his proportions. They always seem to fit the lifestyle.
Okay.
But it's an actual bubble butt, and then tapers down, of course, to no legs, and actually no defined legs.
I was going to say, Lieutenant Dan?
Fat legs. But to see a male carrying weight in that part of the body is a really bad indicator of potential health catastrophes. And aside from the poor nutrition, it's coming from physiologically what is happening, and what has happened really since about 2012 when the phone addiction started and all the social media stuff really started taking hold, is sitting, hunching, and staring at screens all day and not moving.
Well, and two, I noticed it when I got my first desk job. And we call it, like, what do we call it in my family? But like the pancake effect. So like when you start sitting, like for me as a woman, when I start sitting and my ass starts spreading across the chair, right? There's no going back after that. Like it does something. They've got these new things now. You can fascia blast your cellulite, and it does. If you keep at it, you can get it to kind of go away. You're redoing the fascia in there, and it's the same. Like if you pancake out your butt every day, sitting on it or whatever, depending on how you sit, it is going to take that shape.
Yeah, the human body, and we talked about how there's no evil cabal that said all of you are going to sit and get unhealthy. It's just how the culture evolved.
Yep.
But which is why we need to be that much more aware of it, because we like to cherry pick things from the past to either shit on or glorify. It's like, well, my grandpappy ate bacon every day and he lived to be 90. Well, don't pick outliers.
But how much did he jog
to live your life? But the other part of it is, whether it's food or smoking, that's always a big thing. But movement, and it's like, well, everybody then, 50 years ago, everybody was a farmer, or everybody was working with their hands. People were working on the railroad, and all this kind of stuff, and they died when they were 40 or whatever. And it's like you can't cherry pick these metrics. But the other thing is we aren't 50, 70, 100 years ago. We're different now. Everything about us, from the culture to our physiology, is different. And we can't look at it. We can't pick things from the past and go, we need to be like that. So why was everybody slender in the 70s? Well, everybody was taking amphetamines and smoking cigarettes. That's probably not a lifestyle you want to emulate.
I mean, some days, I want to be sedated. Some days,
Sometimes.
So.
But so you got to live now. You got to be where you are. But the other body type, as I mentioned, that I saw when I went into the store, I got behind a young couple, could not have been more than 22, 23, something like that. And he was taller than average, maybe 6 feet, something like that. And she was average size for a female. Her demographic, she was probably like 5'5", 5'6". And neither one of them, would you look at them, like if they were wearing a potato sack, you wouldn't look at them and go, oh, they're obese, or they have a lot of body fat going on, because it didn't show up in their face. And she had, the only reason I could tell with her was because she had those booty shorts on that all the girls are wearing these days. So you see everything. And he had on like a t-shirt and cargo shorts or something like that.
I was going to say, default cargo shorts. You're probably right.
He was narrow up top. No development, no chest, no shoulders, no lats, no nothing like that. And he didn't have the bubble butt, but he had the gut. He's 22 or 23 years old, and he's got a spare tire, the gut of like a 45-year-old dad bod. But the girl, because of the shorts she was wearing, I could see everything. And she was by no means, I don't even think she would be considered overweight. And her BMI was probably right in the middle. But she had cellulite all over the back of her legs. And this is because food choices, the chemicals and all the stuff that we talk about with food, and the macro mix that we do with foods and all the hyper processed foods, and no movement. And so you've got people who aren't even fat carrying all this adipose tissue.
Yeah. And I hear this story, Meredith, and because how my brain works. He's telling me that, this young couple, whatever, and my brain just goes, everyone's got a boyfriend but me.
Oh, Lacey.
Sad trombone. All right. Moving on in the nutrition segment. You and I had a conversation yesterday which sparked the interest in me adding this to the nutrition section. You were doing, and by the way, I gave you your hardest workout as far as your recovery goes that you've had in a long time.
Yep.
Because prior to your sepsis issue, you were sick prior to that. And so it's been, and then you had a surgery prior to that. So it's been a minute since you've lifted anything real heavy.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of body weight stuff, a lot of yoga adjacent things, a lot of core movement, things like that, but nothing heavy. And I put some weight on you yesterday, and you told me you're a little sore today.
I am
right?
a little sore today.
But you're a good sore, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, we started talking about, I don't even remember how we got here, but we started talking about nutrition and eating and how to manage your nutrition plan, or whatever it is you want to call that you're doing with your food. And so I'm going to kick this over to you, because the line that I typed out was Lacey hates counting calories. And what I want, you and I had a little bit of a back and forth about this, because I'm like, you don't have to spend your life counting calories, but calories matter. You have to know what you're eating, to whether you're in maintenance, or whether you're in a cut phase, or whether you're in a gains phase.
I got my button.
So what I want for you to do, and you, because I am your personal trainer too, and I've been your nutritionist for like 15 years now, help me understand as a trainer, because I don't want to approach anyone and just say, you have to do this.
Yep.
I'm not listening to what you're saying. You have to do this. So the best trainer is going to meet you where you are.
Yeah.
Now I may have to pull you a little bit towards me, but I'm going to go meet you where you are. Otherwise, we're not doing anything. So help me as a trainer, as your trainer, understand where your mindset is on this so I can meet you where you are.
Can we pause first? I gotta go check on the babies.
Just open the door.
Yeah,
They're
go
all three of them are piled up right
on the
there at
door. And I don't want my dog killed your riot ball. I don't want to kill your door. I'm going to have to come in here and sand and paint.
I bought a ruckus ball that, and yes, I just said the brand name of the product, that I didn't know was going to ship directly from China. So it took a month to get here. Like, I grew up in the 70s. I remember, order now and you'll get your product in 6 to 8 weeks. And that was normal, but that ain't normal anymore. So it took a month to get here and it got destroyed in half a day.
Yeah, by my dog. So, yep, okay, yep. The greeting period. Okay, everybody's.
Yes, we're all here now.
Everybody needs to come in.
Yes, baby.
All right. Nobody under the desk. So anyway,
I got the
let me,
I got the leg bar. I got the leg bar going.
Good.
help me
Okay.
understand as your trainer where your mindset is on this so I can meet
Hi,
you where
buddy.
you are.
Okay, so basically, anytime I've tried to diet, before there was a lot of kind of other ways to do it, or
When you
a
say
simple
diet, what you probably don't, because I don't want to presume. You're talking about losing
I want to,
weight.
yeah, I want to lose some weight, right?
Okay.
And so I know you've got to do a deficit, like that. That makes sense. But I didn't want to eat the same things over and over and over. So I was like cooking turkey burgers or whatever on my George Foreman grill. I've been single for a while, and like adding those calories. And for me, I've always found that when I focus on it too much, and I know in order to be healthier and whatnot, you're going to have to make a lifestyle change, right? But I don't want to be so focused on it, because then I'm so focused on it, it makes it harder. And now all I'm doing is thinking about food. So eating less food becomes much more difficult. So I'll open by saying, like, learning the nutrition label, that is important. Like, do that, but I don't want anybody to get bogged down and feeling overwhelmed by counting every little thing and like whatnot. And it's like, if you have the discipline to count every calorie and do that, great. I
most
never
people
have. Right, I never have. And you said to me the other day, you've got to find your why. Well, I had a why. I've had a why my whole life. I grew up in the era of Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston and Kate Moss. Like, I've always wanted that wafy body type, because that's what I saw. I've never, thick thighs saving lives over here is never going to look like that without some serious starvation. But I just found, like, when I got to, and it's my personality type, I would get so fixated on it, I would always just fail, because it felt too overwhelming to count every single calorie and like make sure I was. So it's important. I know how to read a nutrition label, even though I don't like doing it. And you do need to know, you do have to run at a deficit. So I liked what you said to me as kind of like, the meet you is, weigh out some of your favorite foods and some of your favorite things. So, because if I'm like having to weigh every time, and okay, so I am a lady of leisure right now, but so many people I know are running out the door with the kids, this, that, and the other. Our car needs to be serviced. Like, that's going to be the first thing to go is weighing out your food. So I liked what you suggested is weigh it out. So, like, okay, well, this cup, and like have it all there. I just want to make it accessible and easier to people so they won't quit. And if you eat 100 extra calories on a day, who cares? And I guess that was just kind of my point. Like, I would get so fixated on it. It made it harder. I've always been able to lose weight when it wasn't my main focus. It was like, Lacey, let's just practice portion control, be cognizant that you're getting enough protein, and then go about living your life. And that's when I successfully lose weight, because when I take my calories down and I'm counting them and I'm thinking about them all the time, I'm always thinking about food then. And so it's never worked for me. And so that's kind of where I wanted to come. So, like you said, some of your favorite foods and some of the things you're, familiar with, weigh it out once so you kind of know, so you can, eyeball it, because we don't have time to count grains of rice, or I know nobody's doing that. Although when I did the RP diet, like you count your grains of rice, and if somebody eats one, you're going to grab them by the throat and shake them. But same with, portion control. It's like a deck of cards, and if you And so that's always kind of what I've wanted to do. And that's how I was successful, although it didn't work for Raya, is I would go out and, serving size and portions at dinner, restaurants and stuff is so huge. I would, number one of my tricks is don't order the thing that looks most delicious to you on the menu. Order the third thing that looks good to you. Because if you go in there and get the thing you want, you're going to shove it in your pie hole. For me, these are Lacey's tricks. You don't have to endorse them, but I'm just saying things that have worked for me. It's better when I don't really think about it, because then I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything or not allowing myself something. So I order the third thing that looks good to me on the menu. The other thing I did was I always felt, clean plate club, all that stuff. But I would section off, I just cut my burger in half immediately and think to myself, I'm going to eat this tomorrow for lunch, especially with how expensive it is to go out now. If it can feed me a dinner and then a lunch the next day, rad. And then if I put it in my fridge and don't feel like eating it the next day and it goes bad, it's not going to go to waste because I'm going to feed it to Raya. Same with when we go out sometimes, they give you a pile of French fries and it's yeah, I want some French fries. I should be able to enjoy my French fries responsibly. So I will give some to her and then eat some for me and give some to her and eat some to me. So they're not, and two, and this is no big secret, but when you're done and you're full, eat slow, but when you're done, wave the server down and ask them to take it away from you. I always do that. And so to me, it's just kind of, now look, if you can stay motivated and you're that motivated to count calories and go like that, you absolutely do that because that's going to be the best, most efficient way. But if it gets in your brain and just kind of takes over and makes you crazy like it does me, find some other little tricks to control your portions. As I said, learn how to read the nutrition label, learn what macros you kind of need and, in what balance, about how many carbs. And counting macros is another really good way to do it because again, those macros, it's going to be in a certain calorie range as well, for density and whatnot. If you eat the macros you're supposed to, the stuff on the approved macros list, which I know what those are because I looked into it and now I just know them and I don't have to go look and drive myself crazy. I know what they are. But yeah, I've never, and so, counting calories, and again, you're not wrong. It is about the almighty calorie at the end of the day.
When it comes down to it, whether you want gains or maintenance or loss, you're going to have to know some things or you're just going to be in a spiral. And among those things you're going to need to know is how many calories you're consuming versus the second thing, your total daily energy expenditure. If you know those two things, you don't, and I wanted to let you go, but so I was writing some things down over here that I wanted to address as we went along the way, but I didn't want to interrupt you. First of all, I wholeheartedly endorse and agree with the concept of not obsessing over anything, much less food. Food has, I said this last week, the Food Network ruined the earth for a reasonable expectation of what food preparation and consumption should be. Food is fuel. Yes, you should have fun with it every now and then. You should treat yourself every now and then. But we had, all of a sudden, everything had to be a 7-course restaurant caliber meal that, it was so unmanageable and, led to not only unreasonable expectations as to what my food should taste like, but as to how much of it and what portions of it and what versions of it I should be eating. So don't obsess. You don't have to obsess. And I wanted to bring up, you mentioned about getting upset with yourself for eating 100 extra calories one day. That's the other thing, and that falls under obsession, is if you're on a deficit plan, you're trying to lose fat or lose weight, don't count calories by the day. Count your calories in the smallest increment. You should be tracking your calories as weekly. So if we're putting you in if we want you to lose a pound a week, that's generally going to be about a 500 calorie deficit a day. That's about 3,500 calories a week. The week is where you should be thinking about it, because if you want the French fries, please don't eat French fries. Very seldom. Now, if you got to go get some waffle fries from Chick-fil-A, that's a whole different thing. But make that a special, special, special treat. Please do not make that a regular thing. Anyway, if you want the treat one day, great. Don't worry about it. But you got to make sure you make up for it somewhere along the way in that week. Because weight doesn't go like this on a daily basis. It doesn't even really go like that on a weekly basis. Weight gain and weight loss is an extreme lagging indicator. Those things are going to take a while to pack on you and leave you. So don't obsess. Don't worry about this. Oh my God, 100. I'm outside of my calorie zone today. Okay, fine. What's that going to translate to for the week and then for the month? So think about that. Your strategy of ordering the third thing, I like that.
That's how I did it. Like, because I know I would go, like if I get the filet mignon, filet mignon Oscar with the hollandaise and whatnot, I'm eating it. So.
Oh, that's the thing. Get a steak. Don't get a steak with sauce on it. Just eat the steak. It's delicious. You don't need sauce.
No, you need crab and sauce on it.
Sauce.
So good.
Sauce masks bad food. We don't need to put sauce on good food. Anybody putting sauce on a fillet, on a well-cooked, well-raised fillet, that's a
But it's a treat.
It's a food crime. But anyway, that's where I was going. So ordering
good.
the third,
I'm glad you like that,
because
because I know, like, if I'm hungry but I'm trying to cut back, it's a very easy
not your
way.
favorite thing is I like it, but don't be afraid to treat yourself.
Yeah.
Once a month, if you're at a restaurant, go ahead and get the favorite thing, the number one favorite thing. The rest of the time, get the third favorite thing. So don't get in that mindset where you can't do that. But I do like that strategy. That's very creative and very interesting.
I'm smart.
And ordering from restaurants, I kind of touched on this jokingly about sauces and everything. But honestly, if you're in if I need you to be in a 500 calorie a day deficit, that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Because what do people love to do with their pizza when they eat pizza? Dip the crust in ranch dressing. That is the most American thing I've ever heard.
I don't get the ranch. I like the garlic better.
Yeah. Just eat the pizza. That little ramekin, that little plastic thing of ranch dressing is 250 calories.
And
that's half your deficit.
And a lot of it's not even milk-based. It's all soybean oil and
it's
grossness.
Trash anyway.
It's trash.
But aside from that, that's 250. That's half of your deficit. The other half will be parking farther away from the store and walking more. You can burn 250 calories by getting an extra 5,000 steps a day, and getting an extra 5,000 steps a day is not that hard.
See, and that's the thing, and I was always doing it by myself when I was in my teens and like 20s and whatnot, but it's just like, oh, okay, well, we want to lose a pound a week. I don't know if it's just I couldn't stay motivated enough, because that's what's hard. When I was cutting my calories, I was hungry.
Yeah.
Because you were eating the wrong foods.
And then it wasn't, I was trying to do the healthy thing. I was doing the turkey burger. I was like frying up, put it in my George Foreman, having those calories. I was having protein, I love my cottage cheese, stuff like that, trying to do those things. And I just, whenever I cut back, I'd be hungry. Now, granted, there is when you overeat, your stomach stretches out. Like there's that whole piece of it. But I was just so damn hungry that it was torture. Like, every 24 hours was torture. And I guess that's kind of where I wanted to bring this up was I started cutting calories and I couldn't stick with it long enough. Okay, I could stick with it for 3 weeks. I lost 3 pounds, and I'm thinking about how hungry, how obsessed, how miserable, how much it took over my life for those 3 weeks, for 3 pounds, that it was not worth it. And I guess that's kind of what I was touching
Well,
on.
I'm with you. I do not like counting calories.
You don't like doing anything about that with food.
No, I don't. And part of it is, and I have done what you were talking about when you learn what a good portion looks like. Like I have Greek yogurt, fruit, and granola every morning.
Where have we heard that?
Hey, what do you do with your food?
I weigh it,
Thank you.
but I don't have to anymore because I've done it enough that I know what it looks like. So I do still weigh the yogurt, but I'm not weighing every little portion of everything I put on there. Like now I know what the right portion of granola looks like, and so I can just shake that in there. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. I don't need to weigh it every time. Part of this is, one, I don't have time for that. I'm grabbing my breakfast between meetings and going to sit back down at my desk because I don't like to eat first thing in the morning before
My
work.
tummy gets sick too. Yeah.
The other part of it is I think all day long. It's the mental load. And I think I don't want to, well, I'm going to generalize male and female because there's that invisible mental load that we've heard a lot about lately with women. They're carrying this mental load that men don't even think about, because I'm thinking about, okay, well, my sister's birthday is coming up. I want to make sure that I am, wishing her a happy birthday or sending her a card or whatever. Oh, and then this other family thing is coming up in 2 weeks. Am I going to be able to make it to that? I need to make sure Scott's schedule is going to work with that. I also know that my dad's got a doctor's appointment coming up. I'm going to try to make it to that. All of these things that are in my head that are invisible, unspoken, like laundry. I've got laundry sitting in there that I want to fold. I don't have to, but I wanted to get it taken, put
Girl,
away.
Same. And I don't even have a spouse or a job.
Exactly.
And it's just,
right.
it's a
right.
constant.
And then people who have the kids, they're like thinking about like what I've heard for the last few weeks from my coworkers is all the summer camps. These parents had to sign their kids up for summer camp back in February to be able to get them a place. Yeah. So they're worrying about all of those things. And then now that they're in the camps, who's going to pick up the kid at the right time? And it's a different schedule every week, and trying to balance all of that and thinking constantly while you're also working your job and taking care of your kids and take care of your parents and take care of your pets and all those things. I don't want to think about my food. I've got enough to think about.
And first of all, what you just said, lest anyone out there think it's not real, that is very real. And if you know the science behind what they call the big 5 personality traits, women by genetics, by biological development, are always, with the exception of some outliers, are always higher in trait neuroticism than men. That the word lends itself to a negative connotation, but it's not. It's simply a shift in mental focus, and men are generally way lower in trait neuroticism, which means that you guys, as you just described it, and I don't even really want to use the word worry, but you're processing
Constantly.
all of that stuff all day, plus your job, which is heavily brain
Mental.
focused.
Yeah.
And me, I just play with my friends all day.
Right.
Now I got to plan their workouts and their nutrition and plan this podcast and write and do all this kind of stuff, but it's a way different level than that. I think about your birthday. I don't think about anybody else's
And
birthday.
when it was Mother's Day, who bought Mother's Day cards for everybody's mothers?
I don't even know when Mother's Day is.
Exactly.
And you don't lay in bed at night wondering if the workout you made me do today was the right one, right? Whereas I will obsess about
because I
things
know
that
it
happen.
was.
Well, but that's the thing.
That's the thing.
But that's the thing, and
Yeah.
maybe it's imposter syndrome, and I shouldn't be writing anybody workouts. But no, stuff I know and
Yeah.
whatnot. I'm like, was that the
it
right thing? Was
Now,
that
there's another layer to this. You don't want to think about your food, and I get that. I have a solution for that, but you don't like the solution.
meal?
Oh yeah, no, eat the same thing every night. I cannot do that.
I eat
I cannot do that.
the exact same 4 meals a day for probably 320 days a year, because I don't want to think about my food either. You guys are obsessing over eating different things.
It's not
It's like,
obsessing
oh,
over
I
it.
don't want
I
that.
cannot.
That doesn't sound
No.
good. I'm like, I don't
Even if
care.
it is the best pizza on earth or my favorite tacos, I don't want it 5 nights a week.
I can do it for like maybe a week, or like,
Yeah.
but to have the same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner, that gets tricky. But I can do the same like lunch, same dinner, and as a single person buying my groceries
Yeah.
and trying to get the
Makes it
most out
easier.
of them, like I kind of have to.
So me-
but like
Now, and you can attest to this. And that's exactly right. What I just said. Isn't
it is very true.
I eat the same thing for breakfast basically every day of the year.
I can eat. That's weird because I do eat the same breakfast every day, and I don't mind that.
Food,
but,
so I do eat a lot of the
what
same
we
breakfast.
have every day is chia seeds soaked in skim milk, Greek yogurt. I have blueberries. She has usually raspberries, maybe strawberries. Lately, it's been peaches, and a little bit of our good granola on top of it. Sometimes I make my homemade granola. That's a whole other story. But anyway, so you do eat that. Both of us eat that every day, every single day, because it's easy. And also it's easy to shop for. When I go to Sam's to do the bulk of our shopping, I'm like, I know exactly where I'm going. I don't have to think about that. So there's more bandwidth cleared for other things that you need to think about. And then for my 2 middle of the day meals, or one of them is generally going to be a whey protein shake with skim milk and water. That's a no-brainer. And another one is going to be usually like for today, for my pre-workout, I had oatmeal, raisins, and honey. And oatmeal takes 5 minutes to fix, and you make a whole bunch of it and keep it in the fridge, and you got it for days and days and days. So I'll eat that until I'm out of it, and I'll make some more. And then for dinner, I have the same thing every single night, unless we go out or we're out of town. Like she'll have just had it at some point.
Ground chicken, salt, pepper, paprika.
Paprika? Oh, no.
No? Okay, I was making a guess.
Crushed red pepper.
Crushed red pepper.
The protein is either going to be ground beef or ground chicken. It's going to be raw spinach. So I'm going 113 grams, which is 4 ounces of the meat. Super drained meat. Not only is that going to do two things, that's going to cut a lot of saturated fat. Almost all the saturated fat's gone. But because you're doing it by weight, you're going to get more protein per gram or ounce, however you want to think about it, because so much less of it is fat weight or moisture weight. Anyway, so the ground, 4 ounces, 113 grams, 65 or 70 grams of raw spinach. I'll cut up 2 or 3 little bell peppers, and 2 or 3 egg whites, depending on what my workout was, plus 1 whole egg, and either sweet potatoes or rice or oatmeal, or I'll mix all 3 of them.
All in a bowl together.
The same thing. I have the same thing every day in a big bowl, in a giant bowl.
How did that get?
She bumped the desk.
It's okay, big old head.
All right.
The thing she smacks her head in. The funniest thing is, like, I will feed her of like a denti stick or something, normally right by the door. I forget why I do that. Just ends up being where it happens. And she'll take it and every time be like, yes, and then turn and go in the door jam, like every time.
You just don't know how big you are, do you?
Well, and I always say her head is Thor's mallet and her tail is Indiana Jones's whip.
Oh, yes.
Like, just like one end is going to get you. When she was a pup and she would actually lay on me, I'm like, do I get the bitey end or the farty end today? Oh, okay, the farty end. Great.
All right, back to it. So,
but wait, I have something else to say about thinking about things.
well, I wanted to wrap that. I wanted to get back to that through what I was saying. So, you don't like to do that. You hate eating the same thing over and over again. I don't care. I just want the nutrients in me. I don't care about the food part. Salt, pepper, crushed red pepper, olive oil. That's it. But you don't want to do that. You can't do that. And I shouldn't expect you to do that. But if I'm going to meet you where you are and pull you a little bit to where you need to be in order to maintain good health, wellness, strength for your workout, fuel for your workouts and all that stuff, you kind of need to come to me a little bit.
Well, and I have. There are certain things that I know are healthy for me, and I have options. Like, I eat the same stuff every week. I just don't, I have like 4 or 5 different things that I'll eat on a regular basis.
Instead of doing the same thing every day like I do, you have a rotation throughout the week, but it's the same foods.
Right.
And because of that, you know your portions, because I've had you weigh things over and over and over and over and over again. And your prep time is easy, your cook time is easy, and when we shop, it's easy. So it's just a bigger version of what I do. And so that's the compromise there.
Right.
So we control, we know what our macro needs are, we know what our calorie needs are, and we know what our total daily energy expenditure is. So we can not obsess over the food. Do you obsess over food?
No.
You don't obsess over food,
No.
but you're eating well and you're healthy. And that's how I meet you where you are, and I come get you,
Right.
pull you back a little bit my way.
Right.
That's good. That was a good summary, because I don't feel like we were specific enough about, like, well, you need to learn how to count calories. You need to learn how to read this. You need to know what your body needs. But you don't have to do that every single day for the rest of your life
Right.
if you want to lose weight. Like, I'm like, how can we make it more accessible? Because that to me is just so
Yeah.
daunting.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me to eat an ice cream cone every day for the rest of my life, I would be like,
Right.
that's a lot of commitment.
Right.
So to me, it's just to find I just want this version, you know,
Yeah.
like, I want to lose some
Yeah.
weight. I would love to lose a pound a week. But how can I do that without having to
Right.
like go over every single little detail of
Exactly.
every little
So let me
grain
go,
of sand that's going in my
let
mouth?
me go
Yeah.
trainer on you. The first thing you do is hire a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach who does
Just
all
do it
that
for you.
stuff for you.
Or you marry one.
Or you marry one. But short of that, there's two things you're going to need to know. You're going to need to know the content of your food.
Right.
And once again, what we're talking about is those three things. Cutting or loss, deficit, maintenance, or gains. You got to know your calories, and the two things you have to know about them is how many calories are coming out of your food, and how many calories is your body burning on a daily basis. So you're going to need to know how to learn nutrition label, and if you want to learn more about that, go listen to the last episode because we went all deep into that. But you're going to need to know TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. And as we said, that is just existing, breathing, your organs working, your brain thinking, drumming your fingers, clicking a pen and writing. All of that burns calories, blinking, whatever.
I think that's why I haven't been losing weight recently, is because my brain is not burning as many calories because I've just been an idiot.
The other part of that is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's walking around your house or going to the store and walking through the store, stuff that's not focused exercise. Other
Sleeping burns calories, so
well,
all
that goes under
the first one. All right.
BMR. So your total daily energy expenditure is broken down into BMR, basal metabolic rate. That's 60 to 70% of the calories that you burn by existing.
Those are my favorite ones.
Existing,
Love those.
sleeping, breathing,
I love that for us.
organs, digesting. Actually, that goes under a different thing. But anyway, TEF is the thermic effect of feeding. That's your body burning calories, digesting your food. And if you bump up your fiber a little bit more and you eat a little bit more protein, you're going to be able to, and a little bit more healthy fats, you're going to burn a lot more calories just digesting your food. And then non-exercise activity thermogenesis. By the way, TEF, just thermic effect of feeding, is about 10% of your daily calories that you're going to burn. And then NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, all general movement, is about 20-ish%, 15 to 30%. And believe it or not, this is the part no one can believe. And you said it a little while ago about how you were killing yourself running, trying to burn calories. That is the worst way to burn calories because exercise activity thermogenesis, which is your workout, your run, your walk, that's going to burn about 5 to 10% of all of your daily calorie burn. So where does this start? It starts with having a healthy body, first of all, that can actually function, but also in the kitchen. So
yeah, that would have been 1994. You thought you had to run or jazzercise.
Right.
And
So
eat your
whatever.
snack oil cookies.
You go run 2 hot miles and you might burn 150 calories.
the calorie counter on the treadmill when because I mean I ran forever. Oh my
Yeah.
God,
You're not
is it
even gonna
depressing?
burn off that
Why am I
little
doing
ramekin
this?
of ranch dressing.
It was horrifying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get on the stair climber because that's hard. That is
So-
a little less horrifying, but still,
Still.
punch me in the face.
Yeah.
It would have been nicer.
To
Yeah.
figure out your total daily energy expenditure, you need to figure out your basal metabolic rate. Your BMR is there's a formula, or you can Google it. You Google BMR calculator and you enter your height, weight, and I think age and activity level.
Probably
But
gender.
the formula is 10 times your weight in kilograms plus 6.25 times your height in centimeters minus 5 times your age plus 5, which is no one's going to
No.
ever do that. Google.
Well, I know what mine is already.
So that's gonna give you-
1.21 gigawatts.
So that's going to give you your BMR. My BMR is always right around 1,700. So I'm just by existing, I burn 1,700 calories a day. Women have a little bit of a slightly different formula, but it doesn't matter. So forget about the formula. Just Google it. Figure out what your BMR is, because that's most of your calorie burn. It has to do with activity level and things like that. Then with the others are harder to define as far as TEF, NEAT, and EAT. But get your BMR and understand what your activity level is to kind of figure out how many calories you're burning throughout the day, which your activity level is actually figured into the BMR formula. And then you can kind of more or less, if you do wearables, you can sort of more or less, there's a pretty strong baseline of how many calories you generally burn during moderate activity, heavy activity, things like that. So it's pretty easy to track. So know what your total daily energy expenditure is. There is a calculator for that too. Just go to Google or your favorite search engine and type in TDEE calculator. Then you're going to figure it out. My total daily energy expenditure is always right around 2,700. Boom. I know from that one number that I only have to calculate once what my calorie count needs to be depending on what phase I'm in. So I know how much I need to eat. Then I go into the planning my meals phase, which for me, as we just talked about, has already been done. I don't even think about it anymore. The only adjustments I have to make is when I go, I'm starting.
When there's birthdays.
I'm starting a cut phase for my Spartan races because I want to be a little leaner. I want to lose about 6 pounds in the next 5 weeks. So I'm going to back off about 650 calories a day.
Are you going to be hangry when we train?
I've already planned it out. You can't even believe the amount of food I'm going to be eating. I already have my meals planned, and I'm cutting a little bit of olive oil in my evening meal. I'm cutting a little bit of my chia seeds because those are pretty calorie dense, and just a handful of other things. I'm adding protein. So I'm going from about 140 grams of protein a day to like 175. And my fat is coming up a little bit. My carbohydrates because of the training thing. Anyway, so I'm not going to be hungry. And I'm looking at this meal plan. I'm like, Jesus, I'm not even going to know if I can eat that much.
Speaking of that, talking about how, okay, losing 1 pound a week and then you go, is it worth it? Or, running on the treadmill and being like, wow, 150 calories. Awesome.
Yay.
To me too, there's the thing that you've heard before, and I would cut calories and the scale wouldn't move. And that to me is like, what am I doing? I'm hungry. My brain doesn't feel like it's functioning enough. And it's like, and I'm not doing some, I'm going to lose 10 pounds in, 3 weeks or something. It was like, I knew I needed to back off calories. And then you go, oh, well, maybe I've cut back too much and my body thinks it's in starvation mode. So maybe now I need to eat more, because every single diet, when I've cut back a little bit, I've been really, really hungry. And I just sort of wonder, well, we can talk about at the end when we talk about diets. When I did RP, when I first started that, the amount of food that I was eating at the beginning, I was like, I can't get all of this down.
We're not endorsing any diet plans or nutrition plans.
I'm just saying my experience then with it was, it was so much food, but by the end, and to lose weight, because I just kind of steadily went down and then, a little up and then steadily went down. He never changed my plan over the 12 weeks. But towards the end, starving. I was stalking around like a panther in my kitchen waiting for, because it's all time too, at 9 p.m., waiting for my protein, which I would whip up my protein and freeze it, and then take my fat for the day, which was, a tablespoon of almond butter.
Hold on a second. What do you mean whip up your protein and freeze it?
So at night, and it's not whey protein. Is it casein protein? Casein. So at night, everything was timed on when I worked out, or what I ate. So at 9 o'clock every night, because I worked out the same time every day, I would have this casein protein. So I would take it and put it in the water to mix it up. And instead of doing it as a shake, to feel like it was a treat, I froze it and would whip in the almond butter with it. And then I'd freeze that. So it felt like a frozen Reese's peanut butter cup. It did not taste like one. I just remember by the end of all of that, like I was so hungry, which is crazy because in the beginning,
it was so much.
It was so much, but I put on so much muscle. I was burning so much more.
Yeah. And instead of that, you should have been eating Greek yogurt with a little bit of something to sweeten it up.
I could have.
That's just there's ways to, if you're hungry and you have brain fog, you have your macro mix is wrong and you're not eating the right kinds of foods. So if you got brain fog, you're probably low. You're too low on carbs, and you're probably over indexing on protein, which is over-indexing on it is bad, but adding protein is satiating. Protein has a high satiety factor, and I always tell people, lean into the protein. Like if you're going to a wedding and you're like, I'm going to blow my calories for the week. No, you don't have to. Lean into the protein at that wedding buffet. Don't go grabbing all the breads and cakes and all that kind of stuff, because it's going to fill you up more, and it's just going to give you a better metabolic result as well. But you can bulk up your foods. Yes, my dear, you have a question?
Yes, not for the recording. It's 7:30 and I'm starving. Okay. It's talking about all this food.
See?
I'll get you out of here in a second. So, what was I talking about?
Wedding. Don't eat the cake.
Yeah,
eat protein.
You can bulk up your food with low calorie things like squash, butternut squash, sweet potatoes, things like that. So it's going to give you your needed carbohydrates anyway. But just by you saying that you had brain fog and you were hungry,
and it was only at night, not during the day. It was just that last thing that I was waiting for. I would get really hungry towards the evening and just be like, and because then in the morning I'd wake up, I'd eat my wonderful big breakfast smoothie protein thing, and I was off to the races. But I can't tell you how many times, because people knew what I was trying to do and were being very supportive, but I would pull the, what is it, an SNL, and Chris Farley's like, leave me alone, I'm starving. Yeah. Yep. Just...
But really the reason I brought that up, two things, is because you and I discussed this the other day, and I really wanted to make sure that I understood where my clients were coming from so I could meet them where they are and kind of bring them where they need to be. And also, our daughter was here with her boyfriend this weekend, and we were talking about nutrition because she's having some weight issues right now, and the boyfriend is not. He's tall and lean, but he wants to get stronger and add a little muscle mass. And so he was asking me about nutrition from that standpoint. She was asking me about it from the other standpoint. And the one big problem with her is that he enables her bad habits because he loves her. He wants her to be happy. And we all think that food is happiness. So when she wants a Milky Way or what, a 4-pack of Reese's cups or whatever, he's going to get it for her. I'm like, you can't do that. She's going to have a why. She's going to have a why, and that why might be you. You can't be the one feeding into the thing that's hurting what she's trying to do. But the point of that is that both of these young people, he's 25, she's 20, she'll be 23 this year. Holy cow. They don't know anything about this stuff. People don't change. Our toys and our electronics change, but people are the same. I didn't know anything about this stuff when I was 23. I was eating everything in sight. But they were genuinely looking for information, and they didn't know anything about any of this stuff. And I was like trying not to unload all of my knowledge into their brains.
Here's a link to the podcast.
Like Indiana Jones movie. But I want young people to, I think Gen Z is going to save the world. I want them to be capable and fit, and I want them to be informed on this stuff, and I don't want them to be afraid to ask about this stuff. So I wanted to make sure that I brought that up because honestly, us nutrition nerds really need to be able to step out of our bubble and understand that the average person doesn't have this knowledge base, and that most of what young people in particular know comes from social media and some turd influencer with no education or practical real world experience in dealing with actual humans.
Or in addition to that, there's a bazillion influencers. They're all saying something different. Yeah. So how do you know which one to listen to?
Exactly. So I wanted to bring that up. My dear, you may go and
go eat something.
Eat well.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know if feeding them with Raya here is a good idea.
I'm going to feed myself.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my dear. I love you so much.
Love you too.
It's fun to have,
yeah.
Fun to have the girls.
All right, real quick before we continue, if your current training plan is basically random workouts and good intentions, the BalanceFIT Blueprint might help. It's a 3-session virtual coaching program where we build a clear, personalized training program for you. BalanceFitSC.com. All right, let's get back to it.
All right.
Q&A.
Scott, I've talked about how much I ran as a 12-year-old to try to lose weight. What's better, to lose weight, diet or exercise?
I am so very glad you asked, because that may be the most asked question. And as we just said, people don't know. People don't know things. And that doesn't mean you're ignorant or stupid or less, subhuman. That just means that you don't have the knowledge base. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm very, very glad, because this question right here is a big one. It is a good question, and it very definitely needs to be answered. So I'll answer the question first and then tell you why. Control of your body composition starts and ends in your kitchen.
Abs are made in the kitchen. That's what everybody says.
I want everything about me. I mean, the name of my business is BalanceFIT. Everything about me says wants to say they're equally important, but they're not. The gym is a huge part of the journey, but your fuel is the alpha and the omega. And also, let's not forget about sleep. I unintentionally don't talk about sleep enough with this, because sleep is where your body recovers and restores. It builds, recovers, and restores, and you need sleep. So
I had this conversation with someone yesterday about sleep and how important it is.
If you're eating well and working out, but you're not sleeping well, you're wasting your gains.
And also doing damage to yourself. I mean, when if you're not looking for gains or anything, if you don't get good sleep, you are going, your immune system suffers. Your everything. I am pretty immunocompromised right now, and so I'm getting sleep is so important, and it's become glaringly important to me right now where I'm at.
And I want to back up a little bit, and I also want to say, because the question was, what's better for weight loss, diet, or exercise? I want to make sure that we understand weight loss versus excess fat loss or fat loss. If you are doing a proper fitness regimen where you're lifting heavy weights, you're getting stronger. I don't care who you are, what you look like, where you're coming from, what your gender is, what your age is, anything like that. You need to be lifting heavy weights. You need to be getting stronger. It's how you're going to bulletproof your body as you go through the various stages and phases of your life. So you will actually gain weight. You'll gain muscle weight.
Right.
And there may be a time where a period where those kind of level out. You're like, why? You'll lose some excess fat, but then you're working out, and all of a sudden you hit that plateau, like you were talking about doing the steps, which is normal, by the way. The plateaus and the steps are normal. But anyway, I want to make sure that we know that we're talking about excess, particularly excess visceral fat loss instead of just weight loss, because I don't want you to get caught up in the scale. The scale, just like counting calories, will drive you insane.
You know this about me. I don't get on the scale unless I have to. I do at the doctor's office or whatnot. I get too fixated on it.
Yeah. So,
and it can, like my dad in the 90s in the stock market, it can make or ruin my day, that stupid number.
So losing fat a lot of times can be about the way you look. And let's talk about that for a second, because I'm here to tell you that's important too. We need the we need beauty in this world, and beauty takes all forms, all shapes, all forms. People, art, whatever, music, movies. We need more beauty in this world, and a healthy body is a beautiful body.
Yes.
And a healthy body is a lean, strong body. But so your looks are important. Let's not undercut that. And hopefully it's a little bit more about liking how you feel, which how you look will be something that is carried along with
Again,
how you feel.
How you feel. If you guys remember the first time I talked about like just wanting to go over to somebody's kitchen island and pop up on it and have the strength and the confidence to do that. And it was how I felt in my body. I felt gross in my body. And now I feel, I lost some weight. I'm getting healthier. Obviously my health setbacks have hurt me a little bit with where I was on the trajectory, but I feel great in my body.
Yeah.
And and it makes everything easier. Like it makes coming to train easier. It spirals up.
Yes. Yep. So instead of being in the mindset of losing weight, I want you to be more in the exist in a state, more in a mindset of being in balance and being healthy, because those things, the things that you want to look better, feel better, all those things will follow being in balance and being healthy. And existing in a state of overweight or obesity is not healthy. Being leaner and stronger is a strong indicator of health. So think like that, or you will drive yourself insane stepping on the scale every day. But to get back to the point at hand, and like you said, I said that the kitchen, your food, is the alpha and the omega of your health. You can't, and you said abs start in the kitchen, so you cannot outwork poor nutrition.
Right.
You cannot get in the gym or get on the treadmill or get on the road and run until you die.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have poor nutrition, you'll collapse doing that too.
Exactly, and outwork poor nutrition. The struggle of out training a bad diet is a major point of confusion in this culture. And if you're eating more calories than you're burning through total daily energy expenditure, here we go again, BMR, NEAT, EAT, TEF, you will gain weight. Comes back to knowing what you're eating, knowing what your needs are, and knowing what you're burning. If you are not in a deficit, if you want to lose excess fat, you will gain weight. Yeah, I suppose you could maintain, but it's likely that you're overeating the wrong foods in particular. So you will gain weight. You got to know those things. What do I preach? My mountaintop is weigh your food and know what you're eating. Everything. Most people have no idea all the random shit they're putting into their bodies, and you don't even think about it. And it's not like you're intentionally ignoring things. It's like you pick up a handful of raisins, and not even a handful of raisins. A serving of raisins is 40 grams.
Fourth of a cup. Yep.
40 grams. That's 160 calories. Mm-hmm. Now those are good calories.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about being in a calorie deficit, that's 160 calories. And if you think just like eating couple of little bites of raisins is not going to matter, it does.
Yeah.
If you're in a 500 calorie day deficit, that's 160 calories. So weigh your food and know what you're eating. Get in the gym and build more lean muscle mass. This is where I honestly, I used to kind of be in the, I don't care what you do as long as you're active.
Did something, yeah.
But I've really, as I've run this business and trained more of y'all and learned more, educated myself more and more, which I try to do every day, I want you to lift heavy weights. I want you to pick things up and put them down and build more lean muscle mass, because that's going to make you healthy and it's going to help you burn more calories.
That's what I'm going to say. I know we've said it before, but say it again. If you gain 2 pounds, but it's all muscle, you know what that muscle is doing for you during the day? It's burning more calories. It's burning more of the unwanted lumpy stuff around your middle that you would like to get rid of. And I say that to you when I work out. I'm like, all right, Scott,
the lumpy stuff everywhere, because we know we can't spot reduce.
We know that, but I just picked my middle for that example. But yeah, we talk about this all the time. I'm like, Scott, yep, give me some weights, because I want to make sure my muscles are burning for me, even when I sleep. The more muscle mass you have, it's just gonna your TDDE
TDEEs.
Is that a bank? The more lean muscle you have on yourself, that number is going to go up.
Yep. So the answer to your question, to kind of bring this into port of diet or exercise, understand that they work together to make a balanced, healthy version of you. That word, I balance, there's a reason I put it in my business, and I use it every day, 1,000 times a day. It's really, really important. You want to make a balanced, healthy version of you. Don't be skinny weak any more than you're fat weak, but everything about your health, even supporting, enabling, and fueling your workout, starts in your kitchen. So I keep coming back to that. I want it to be balanced, but it starts in the kitchen. Understand macros and how they drive your metabolism. A good macro split for someone who works at a desk and does moderate exercise 3 to 4 times a week, it's going to be something like 30, 35, 35, something like that. And someone who's more active, you should be pushing them a little bit more protein, a little bit more carbs to fuel your workout, a little bit less fat to cause GI issues. Understanding how to fuel your body for your life, because everyone's genetics and metabolism and needs and goals and wants and reality, as Meredith was talking about, is they're all different. But that'll get you going in the right direction. So what's more important, diet or exercise? Your total health starts in the kitchen. And furthermore, to that specific point, make sure it's the kitchen instead of out dining, and make sure it's your kitchen rather than Cisco's kitchen. I hope y'all know that. Do you know why the taste of restaurant food is going down and down and down and down in this slow angle? Because they all buy from Cisco.
It's all the same.
They all
stuff,
get the same food.
Yeah.
It's packaged, frozen, whatever. Mm-hmm. So you're not getting the same restaurant experience that you got 25 years ago and longer. So yeah, make sure it's your kitchen. So take some ownership in how you do this. All right, let's bring it in the cool down section. I wanted to ask, we touched on this a little bit, and you said you hadn't, but think about it. Have you ever tried a fitness or wellness or nutrition? And I know you have, because you talked about it, a fitness, wellness, or nutrition program or plan. What was it, and how did it go?
Yeah.
You actually almost answered all of my questions and all your stuff already.
So I did RP back when I was doing CrossFit 2016, 2017. This was like all the rage in the CrossFit community. It's called Renaissance Periodization. And it's, counting your macros. And they would do either a cut or a gains for you. And I was just like, I can't ever imagine like wanting to go into a gains phase. But because I knew if they gave me the spreadsheet, I was going to have questions. I was going to make sure I was wanting to do it right. And if I was really going to commit to this, I really needed to make sure, didn't want to think about it. So I paid for the upgrade to have a nutritionist. So I met with him, and I had to submit my weight to him like every 3 days. And we met once a week, and we looked at, how I was feeling and all this different stuff to if we need to make any adjustments. And it was a counting macros sort of deal. And I need to dig out that spreadsheet and show it to you, because when I first got it, I was like, what? But I stuck with it. I did the 12 weeks. And I've lived the lifestyle. I did all my meal prepping on Sunday nights, so I ate the same thing all week. It was difficult, especially when I got into like week 5 or 6, when I was out of ideas for when I had to start like the 5-week cycle over again. I was going a little crazy, and then I guess I should have started on Saturday, because there was one Sunday where I totally just foobarred my squash noodles for like, I was making my own meatballs and making the whatever zucchini noodles or summer squash noodles. And then I was like, I cried in my kitchen, because I was like, what am I going to do now? I'm going to have to go get something that's awful and throw it together tonight, so I have dinner for all. So anyway, it was I enjoyed it because I needed to prove to myself I could do it. I needed to have like the discipline to do it. And I actually gained muscle while losing fat I want to say I went from, I think it was like 156, 158, and I went down to 136 for the first time in my life. You could do your...
In how long? Would you say 12 weeks?
Yeah, in 12
months.
weeks. And I felt strong. I felt good. I feel like everything felt, but it just got so hard I was focused on it so much. And then to go into maintenance, that's kind of where I, said, all right, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to know what macros I'm supposed to be having to maintain. I'm going to eyeball it a little bit. If I feel like, I'm gaining weight, I'm going to cut it back. If I, it's not working for me. So it was great. But the best thing I got out of it though was proving to myself I had the discipline to do it.
Yeah, I like that part of it. So it's a 12-week program, which obviously, so what were you supposed to do after that?
Go into maintenance. You then...
So you're on your own then?
Well, so they sell the plan just as like without the dude, and I wanted the dude because I knew I was gonna need the sport and whatnot. I've always known that about myself. So he drew up a maintenance plan for me now that I knew how to work the sheet and the system and what I needed.
Right. So here's the question. 2 questions. Was it sustainable, and would you do it again?
The cut phase was not sustainable, but you're not supposed to cut. Like,
No.
So
well, you can't be in a cut forever.
Right, exactly. So, right. It's like you could never walk halfway across a room or whatever.
So would you do it again?
Yeah. I mean, like, I was shredded, dude.
Right.
Like, it was really cool at the time. So I would do it again if I was motivated by that anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yes. And then was the maintenance and stuff sustainable? Yes.
Okay. I've never, but you haven't done any kind of like, we were talking and joking about none of that. I haven't done any of that either, but I did do CrossFit. You did CrossFit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not really something that you buy. That's something, that's a membership. That's something that you go do. That's not something you buy online and do in your house. So that's kind of what I was getting at. But I did CrossFit and it nearly killed me. I loved it, but I didn't love what it was doing to my body because I'm that kind of high intensity,
me too,
driven thing. So I loved what I was doing, but it was just crushing me. That was like insanity. The insanity workout. I'm not 25. I can't maintain that. But as far as buying something from one of those programs online like Tybo or P90X or Insanity, I've never done it.
I think I got like one, like it looped me in for like a free week trial where we're supposed to do like, dancing, like burn a couple of calories, just like doing a, like a hip hop dancer. And I was like, that could be fun as I'm at home by myself doing nothing at night. And I think I did it like once. And it's just, I'm in my house and I have my routine in my house and it was just so hard to turn the thing on and I'm trying to figure out how to cast it to the TV. And that's why I sought you out. And I just know that about myself. Like I need to build a team around me, for accountability and just, even a little bit of the social that you get out of it.
I think the closest thing I ever did, and once again, I never bought a program, but just in listening to podcasts and doing research and stuff like that, I actually tried, aside from building my own nutrition plans, I've never done keto or paleo or any of that stuff. But I did try intermittent fasting.
Yep.
And I hated it.
Yeah.
It was just, it didn't make any sense to me.
It does not make any sense to me.
Now the concept of giving your body a rest, I get it. Machinery needs rest. Your body's a machine. What are you crying about?
He's hungry.
I know.
We've all talked about food, and even Finley's like,
come here, buddy.
Food.
Hey, Skunky.
Skunk face!
He's looking right at the camera. But I tried intermittent fasting, and I get the concept. I understand it. I just don't think that it's a good way to fuel your body. If you are... I don't think it's a good way to fuel your body. There is no if. There's no qualifier there. But particularly if you're doing... I train for Spartan races. I can't be doing intermittent fasting. I need to be... I don't do well working out fasted. So I need the steady, sustained, all-day stuff. Now, there's a reason that breakfast is called break fast. So I don't eat... You shouldn't eat late. I don't
Right.
care what Spanish culture tells you, but you shouldn't eat late. If you do eat anything late, you should make it something that'll work for you. And that's why I said Greek yogurt, because dairy is a slow synthesizing protein, and it'll work overnight. It won't give you any GI issues and all that kind of stuff. But your big fast, so like I don't eat anything after about maybe 8 o'clock, and then I won't eat again until probably 8 o'clock. So that's 12. That's a 12-hour fast.
That was another interesting thing about that program is it was built around the time that I worked out. So I was having all my carbs and whatnot before workout, and then post workout when I was still going to be in my most burn phase or whatever. And then yes, the whole point of that 9 o'clock was so there was a slow.
Yeah,
while I
because
was
carbohydrates promote muscle protein glycolysis, which aids muscle protein synthesis, which is good. All right, I think we got that. Let us get on out of here.
Woohoo!
All right. Thank you for spending time with us today on Balance Fit Radio. Please, if this conversation resonated with you, share it out to someone who might need it and enjoy it.
You know, between a couple of my friends that said they've enjoyed our podcast.
Awesome. Hey,
my mom
love it.
also said she listened. So
Hey, bring it
shout
in.
out Dana.
Shout out, Dana.
Shout out Dana.
All right, let me leave you with this thought, Dana. Nothing lifts me out of a bad mood better than a hard workout on my treadmill. It never fails. Exercise is nothing short of a miracle. And that quote was brought to you by Share. That's
gonna say,
right.
no one
I'm bringing
ever.
it all here. So until we meet again, be capable and resolute and move through life with a sense of purpose, trained to be the right kind of dangerous. And remember, your life, your potential. Peace out, homies. We'll see y'all next time. Finley too. All right. Hey, believe it or not, that was an hour and 33 minutes.
Awesome.
That was
We
maybe
had a couple
the shortest
little
one.
breaks.
Seemed like forever, but it was maybe the shortest one.
We got it done.
Thank you for your time again.